Hey folks, another month has gone by, so it's time for another roundup of what's been on and off my needles this month. So I'm filming this a little bit earlier in the month than I usually do. I usually try and film this like as close to the end of the month by, a couple days as I possibly can. But with Thanksgiving travels and family stuff going on, I'm filming this a few days early, so there are a few more days left in November. I might be able to get like a little bit more progress, maybe one or two more finished objects officially done in the month of November, but not in time to be included in the video. So yes, I hope that your Thanksgiving went wonderful if you're here in the States celebrating, and if you are elsewhere, I hope you are enjoying a lovely November. And this video is kindly sponsored by Bob and Brad. More on that later. Let's dive into the first, I'm gonna call these finished objects, but I have to do like finishing touches, and that is, ta-da! It looks like the tiniest little scarf, like you'd need to pin it here, but these are going to be ear warmers. This is the Zermatt Headband by Eliza Covelli, and it's knit up in bulky weight yarn. I use, I think it was Lion brand woolies in their like super bulky. So I did adjust the pattern because the pattern's made for bulky and this is super bulky. So I adjusted the needle size to kind of get the gauge that I wanted with this yarn. But yes, once I had to knit this up, I'm going to block it and then I'm going to do the like twist and sew it together. I'll show a picture of what it's meant to look like when it's all done because the ends get twisted and sewn together, so you end up with this nice little like twist kind of bow-esque thing on the front that I like with ear warmers. I like that detail. I think that is just nice to have that like on the forehead type thing. It to me keeps it from covering up so much of your face or like scrunching down over your eyes. But yes, I've got a couple. These are going to be given away as gift knits. I've got two of them here, and I was able to make these two using the entire ball. Would recommend as gift knits because they also knit up in, I did both of these basically over the course of a weekend. I think I started it like on Friday and finished it early Monday. And, I had other things going on over the weekend, so I wasn't exclusively knitting. I have a 3-year-old, so there's constantly things going on. But they knit up really quickly. I think they're going to be really cute, and I'm knitting them specifically for some family members who, at least one of them, like, hats don't really work out super well because of hairstyle, so hopefully ear warmers will keep her ears nice and toasty in the chilly winter air and not mess with her hair as much. And then I've got an extra one that I also will be gifting to someone lucky in my life. Those are what I'm considering finished objects for the month, because probably by the end of November, these will actually be done. I'm planning on blocking them pretty much as soon as I'm done filming this. I just didn't have time to block them and let them dry before I needed to film the video. So I decided like, okay, I don't want to be picking up wet wool to show you folks. I have a number of whips in progress, but I have made progress on almost all of them. So I'm going to start with the one that's closest to being finished, and I'm kind of hoping that I will actually finish this before the end of November because I'm so close. This is the Coloring Book Tee Mini. Now I am doing a I've altered the pattern for this. I'm not doing the stripes. I'm using this very fun Malabrigo yarn. That's probably a little blown out, but yes, I'm using this very fun Malabrigo yarn. I think it's called like Unicorn Confetti. I keep in my head thinking of it as unicorn poop, and I don't know why, because that is not at all what it is. But yes, this is actually yarn that my daughter picked out at our local yarn store, Mother of Yarns, and picked up and was like, "Mama, I need you to make me a sweater out of this." I was like, okay, I guess I have to buy yarn. So yeah, I knit this sleeve over the past weekend, over 2 days. I don't know why I was taking forever to finish the sweater. Cause like I had done the body, and the body of the sweater's been done since like the beginning of October. The reason it took me so long to finish this is because I'd been doing so many fingering weight patterns for a while. I just needed a break from fingering weight yarn. And I also forgot, like, it's a toddler size sweater. It knits up so much faster than an adult sweater. So yes, I'm about halfway done with the second sleeve, so I just have to finish that and then add the ribbing at the neckline, and it will be done. She'll be able to wear this. And I'm pretty happy with this sweater as it's working up. I do want to block it and see how it kind of looks after it's blocked. It does have a looser gauge than I think I was expecting. And that might also be just the yarn I'm using. This Malabrigo is maybe a light, on the light side of a fingering. Like, I don't think it's technically light fingering, but it does feel like it's on the lighter side. The recommended yarn for this is Knitting for Olive, and I actually have, I think both of the colors are the colors that I use in my cat knit, and I have possibly enough to do a sweater for her from my cat knit pullover, like leftover yarn. So I might do that. Or I may in the future alter this, maybe adjust it so I'm getting a little bit of a tighter gauge and like size it up, and maybe use this as a base pattern for doing a color work sweater. I picked up the Dinosaur Doodle collection from Pacific Yarns Knits. Whoever does I'll put their name up here. Whoever does the doodle decks. I picked up the dinosaur one because my kid is obsessed with dinosaurs, and I want to make her a colorwork dinosaur sweater. Like, I think that would just look so cute. And specifically one that's the main color is red, because that's the color that like they're supposed to wear at school, so she can have a dinosaur sweater at school. Oh, she'd be so happy. So yes, I should have this finished by the time this video is posted, or very shortly afterwards. Okay, so in my last video, I shared that I had finished the Alaska Doodle beanie for my mom, and I have been working on the doodle beanie for my dad. Hey, parents, stop watching. And I got all the way through the color work for the beanie. Like, it would have been done for this video. I got all the way through the color work for the beanie. I was feeling so good about how it looked and everything. And then I was taking a look at it and was like, this feels tighter than the other one. Why is that? And then I realized I forgot to size up after doing the ribbing. So I pulled it back out to the ribbing and started the color work all over from the beginning. So I don't really, let me show you what I have so far. So currently this is what I have of the hat, and I'm actually thinking I'm gonna pull out these like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows of color work, because I was doing the background in black, but I think I'm gonna swap it out for green, because that's the color jacket that my dad is going to wear, that hopefully this hat will kind of accentuate, be an accessory with. And like, I'm doing this design as rockets, so like black made sense to be the background of the night sky, but I think the dark green would fit well as well and like give that same like feel, and also maybe have a little less stark contrast, because I did, once I knit up the whole thing, looking at the black, was like, this is maybe a bit too intense for kind of what I originally envisioned, and I thought about going with like a navy or something, but I think the dark green might be the way to go. I do need to order that yarn, so yes, but yes, this is currently kind of hibernating while I need to get the yarn in to do that swap out. And then I will knit it so quickly because I did like the color work in a couple of days. So it should take me less than a week to finish that, which is good because I need to get it done before the winter solstice, Christmas, Yule holiday time. But I will say I am loving this modish merino from Knit Picks. It's my first time working with it. It's a new yarn. I kind of like wasn't planning on getting it, but when I went on the website to pick up some yarn for these hats, I saw it and was like, oh, this looks wonderful. And it's so soft. It's so lovely to work with and comes in such bright, bold colors that I think it's fantastic for color work. There are a couple of colors, like there's a like sagey green and a kind of like pinky plummy dusty rose color that I like both of those a lot, and I might have to make myself something in one of those colors. It is a little on the pricier side, so maybe and I've got so much yarn. I don't need to buy more yarn until I use up some of the yarn I have. But maybe in the future. All right, so we are on work in progress number 3 now, and that is a pair of socks. So I think I mentioned this a while ago. This is a variation on the Kalina sock. I'm using a different like instructions from, I think it's Simply Socks from Knit Picks. It's a sock knitting book that has, here's different bottom-up toes, here's different bottom-up heels, or like top-down, because the Kalina socks are knit top-down, but I prefer to knit mine toe-up. And it's basically just a 2x1 broken rib stitch. Show you that. A little blown out. And I'm knitting this up in Knit Picks Hawthorne, which they're like kettle collection, which I really like Hawthorne. It isn't quite as soft as Stroll, but I feel like it holds up a little bit better. It feels a little bit like heftier, but is still super comfortable for socks and very soft, and it washes well. I've knit a couple of things in Hawthorne before. So yeah, I'm almost at the heel. I've got like another inch to maybe to go, and then I'll do the heel. But yeah, I basically like at the beginning of the month had like there. So this has not had as much knitting progress because I was working on that color work hat and then those headbands, because this has been my like bring with me knit, and I just, for whatever reason over the last couple of months, have found a little less time while we're out doing stuff to knit. I think we've been going to parks and playgrounds a lot, but it's been a lot more of like walking around and let's gather up leaves. And there's been a lot less like I can just kind of sit or stand and supervise playing on the playground. Or it's been like, you know, we went to like the pumpkin patch and to this fair and this fall activity. There's just been a lot more, I think, activities than necessarily like, let's just go and hang out at the park. So yeah, hopefully getting a little bit more done on this. So originally I think I was considering having these be a gift knit, but that's definitely not going to happen for this Christmas. So I may keep them for myself, or I may just kind of tuck them away for getting a head start on next year. And my last work in progress is my book club cardigan. Yay! It looks like so much more than the last time you saw it. So yes, I got basically to where I had to rip it out and start over, and it's the right size this time. And I will say it did allow me to, there was a couple spots in the moss stitch early on where I just forgot to switch. Like I got off on a row or something, so there was like one row basically of seed stitch in there and one row that had like 3 rows of like knit 1 purl 1 instead of knit 2 rows of knit 1 purl 1 and then 2 rows of purl 1 knit 1. So that did allow me to fix that. Like it wasn't super noticeable, and I think it was on like the back, so I wasn't going to be as stressed about it. I am so looking forward to picking this back up. I set it down once I got to joining the front and back. I can show you joining the front and back, and I finished the ball on the body. And my next plan is to pick up and knit a sleeve, because a couple of people have suggested doing this in my knitting group, and I did it on my cat knit pullover and really liked that. I found it helped me be able to get a good sense of like how long do I actually want to knit the sweater, because the sleeves can affect how the rest of the sweater fits. So, and also like if I run out of yarn, it's easier to do a little bit shorter of a sweater. But I don't think I'm going to run out of yarn, because definitely going down to my correct size, I used less yarn. Surprise, surprise. So I don't think I'm going to be playing yarn chicken. And even if I do, the yarn is something that I can order again. This is knit up in Knit Picks Simply Wool in the color Winkle. I think it's just this nice, like, very neutral grayish that is going to go with a lot of different things. So it's going to be kind of a very, like, neutral piece. But I like because it's got those gorgeous cables, it adds a little bit of interest to it. I am not planning on putting the pockets on this cardigan. And one thing that I kind of wish Sorry Nordland included was just a note on like, hey, if you want to leave the pockets out, here's what to do. It's very easy to do it. You just don't do the pocket, like splitting, separating, like do the pocket thing and just keep knitting the sweater, since it's a top-down cardigan. But like there's somebody else who's knitting it who was asking me about like leaving off the pockets and was like, oh, how are you doing that? And it was like, because they noticed there wasn't instructions in the pattern. I'm doing it because just personally, I think where the pockets fall on this cardigan, I'm not a person who really likes pockets on cardigans a whole lot. And B, where that pocket falls, I don't think is super, what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't look great on me. So I'm going to leave the pockets out and I'm not really going to miss them. Plus, it makes things a little bit easier. Oh, and hey, I will use less yarn that way. I just thought of that. Yes, I am really looking forward to this. This will be my first project with a double knit button band. So once we get to that, I will update you on how that's going. Once I'm done with the gift knits, my plan is to pick this back up and finish it because I would very much like to wear it this winter. One thing that has been helping me be able to knit so much this month has been my Bob and Brad Hand Massager Pro. Bob and Brad reached out and asked if I'd be interested in featuring one of these, giving a little review and sharing it with you folks. So yes, I have been using this quite a bit. I've been using it a lot in the evenings to take like a nice little break when my hands start to get a little bit tired while knitting. I've also used it while I've been sitting at my desk. I recently went through and like cleaned up my inbox, and so I just had like, okay, I just basically need one hand and I can do one-handed typing for a handful of things, and just slipped my other hand right into here and enjoyed some bliss while sorting through a couple months worth of emails. It has 8-zone finger division that can provide all over hand tension relief. Just slide it in, hit the power button, select your mode, your intensity, and it has a little button that provides a nice little heat. So you get a nice warm, especially as it's been colder, like having like my hands get so cold, so just having that nice little heat like really helps relax my hands. The motors on it are quiet, which means It's easy to use, and while I'm watching TV or just relaxing, and it doesn't create like a whole lot of noise. With the 3 different modes, you can kind of target what kind of relief you want. As well as you can customize those modes with different intensities. So like my husband has also used it, and he usually goes for a little bit higher intensity than I generally prefer. He also does it for less amount of time, whereas I tend to just let it go till it stops. It has a 15-minute auto shut off, as well as it is wireless, so you just need to charge it and you can get up to 4 hours of massage time on one charge. So you're not like hooked to a wall. You can get up and move around. That is super useful, especially with a toddler running around. Especially as a knitter, it's really important to take opportunities to take care of your hands. Take a few minute break from knitting, and having this has not only helped like relieve that tension and stuff like that, but it also has provided me with like a really good like, ooh, I want to get a hand massage. I'm going to set this down for a few minutes, get a nice hand massage, and then I can go back to my knitting. And I have found that my hands are a lot less tense. I'm able to knit for longer stretches of time. So it definitely, I've noticed a difference in just the month of using this. I actually had a hand massager kind of planned to be on my holiday list this year. So when Bob and Brad reached out and offered to send me one in exchange for a review, I was like, yes, 100%. Send me that thing right now. If you are interested in picking up the Bob and Brad Hand Massager Pro for yourself, or perhaps for somebody in your life who could use a little bit of relaxation, use the link and code in my description for 10% off. Now let's talk about a couple acquisitions. I know earlier I was saying I didn't need any more yarn, but Knit Picks had their annual sale, and I got a couple of things. I didn't get much. Just a couple of things. Got 2 skeins of the Melisa fingering weight sock yarn. I actually have these 2 colors already. I really like them and would like to make some like tank tops or t-shirts. One of these is definitely going to get used for a staff and light. And I realized if I pick up an extra skein in both of these colors, I should have enough to make a tank top out of each of these colors. So I picked up these. And then I picked up a sweater's quantity of Wool of the Andes worsted weight. This is in Everglade Heather. The reason I picked up this is because I have some yarn I am going to pair with it. So when one of our local yarn stores was going out of business earlier in the year, I went in and bought some Surrey. This is the Blue Sky Fiber 051 Va in their Prairie Fingering, which is a 53% Surrey alpaca, 54% baby Hakaya alpaca. Yes, in this really pretty, like blue-green colorway. So my plan is to hold these 2 together and to make a Franken sweater. I really liked Taylor's Franken sweater. It's been on my like wish list for over a year now. I originally was thinking about using, I've got some extra of this color, the Nightshade Heather that I used to make my Storm sweater in. I have some extra of this and was originally thinking about doing that. But after I picked up this Surrey, I was like, ooh, I have enough to make the Franken sweater in this. I just need to find something to pair it with. And I think that's going to make a really interesting fabric. I do need to swatch it and just confirm that, yes, I 100% like it. But yes, so hopefully in not too long, I will be casting this on. All right, so let's talk about plans for December. So I'm going to finish these gift knits, and then my plan is to work on the book club cardigan. I may cast on a colorwork sweater for my daughter and see if I can like breeze through that pretty quickly and maybe have that be a Yule present for her. But no promises. I'm not gonna like stress too much about that because I can always just give it to her whenever. Don't really have any off the needles that I'm going to share this month. I have been reading a couple of books. I have been watching The Bear, thoroughly enjoying that. But yeah, a little less reading progress this month. There's been a lot of just like, I'm tired. I'm going to sleep as soon as my head hits the pillow because I'm very much a like, read a book before bed to help me wind down. And past couple months have been very busy, so I have not needed that wind down time. So I'd love to know, what have you been knitting up this November? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you've worked on any of the projects that I have on my needles, how's it going for you? I'd love to hear. I definitely get inspiration from looking at other people's projects and like hearing how it's going and seeing what other folks are knitting. Like my Ravelry favorites maybe don't need any more additions, but it is nice to have lots of different things that I can look at and go, ooh, let's go find yarn that I can use this for. I can make this out of. I hope you've had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and wishing everybody happy holidays as we move into this very busy time. Hope you get your gift knits done in time. And just remember, like, don't kill yourself to finish those knit gifts for people. Your health is more important. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and I'll see you next time.